Okay, in today's video about internet computer, I want to focus a bit more on this part of the price action and see what is going on. And I think we may have a bullish pattern in here. And I'm going to tell you what are my thoughts on it. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones. And before starting the video, I need to tell you that today I'm putting an hour-long video out for my members, and in it I'm going to talk about the altcoins that I'm having and their bull run targets and what might be next for Bitcoin and also the whole altcoin market. So if you're interested in those informations, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. If you don't want to, that's absolutely fine. Let's get on with our video. Now, if you remember, the last time that we talked about ICP, I believe we were somewhere around these areas, and I was saying, well, okay, in terms of classic TA, we are having in here a very important resistance area, which is from weekly and daily time frame at the same time, and it is between, let's say, $12 to about $13. And I said, if we get a break of this thing, it will be, in my opinion, a very strong bullish sign. Now, if you want to say a resistance broken, you need to see an initial move above it and then pull back, and followed by that a continuation of the move up. And what do we have in here? This can be considered as our initial break. This is a very classic pullback, and what happened after it? We continued our move on the upside, and in it we took the higher side. So in my opinion, for now, makes perfect sense to say, look, our resistance is broken, which is a very bullish sign, and there's a good chance that our move up is going to continue for quite a bit soon. Now, I don't know if you like classic patterns, but if you do, I think we can actually identify a classic bullish triangle structure, and here are the lines for it. Let's just take this one. Sure. This is going to be the higher line, and this can be our lower line right in here. Now, if you are feeling a bit brave, you can also say that maybe this is going to be just the flag part of a bull flag, which may have started from all the way down here. And if we get a break of this line, well, okay, the targets are going to be quite high, and we can continue our move on the upside at quite a bit of a rapid pace. And here's the deal. I'm not really a big fan of classic patterns, but I do think that we may actually get soon a solid break of this region. Why is that? You see, for a second, let's just ignore that we are having a bullish triangle in here, because in terms of classic TA, we are actually having, I would say, a decent resistance area, which is actually also from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. And I think it was between 15 to about, I think it was $16 right in here. Now, in terms of how much important this area is, I would say it's definitely less important and also quite weaker than this resistance area, but it does matter. That's why at the moment we are seeing ICP hanging under this area for quite a bit. And in fact, I would argue this is actually a good sign, because how many times are we touching this region? Let's have a quick count. There we go. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times we are touching this area, and every single time we are getting some sort of a reaction from it. And you know my stance on these types of price action. A support or a resistance area gets weaker the more times that we touch it. Okay, in the classic analysis, they say when we touch a support or a resistance area more than a couple of times, that becomes more of an important support. However, in my opinion, that does become more of an important support or resistance when we get a break of it. And in fact, when we touch that region a couple of times, it actually gets weaker and weaker, and we can say soon maybe we're going to get a break of it, do a pullback, and then a continuation of the move up. So in my opinion, the real reason for why in ICP at the moment we are doing this choppy price action is not probably because we are having a bullish triangle. That can be a reason, but from my point of view, it may not be the main reason, and we need to pay a bit more attention to this solid resistance area, which I do think that we are indeed going to get a break of it soon. And here is the deal. If we're going to get a break of this area, meaning we're going to get a break of the $16 region, the next target, well, okay, if you want to go according to classic patterns, it's going to be the height of your triangle from here to about, let's say, this point, and you need to put this thing at your breaking point, let's say right in here. As you can see, the next target according to this pattern is going to be somewhere around $17. But I think we're not actually going to stop here. No, I'm thinking if we get, in terms of classic TA, a break of this resistance area, for me, makes perfect sense to say that the next target is around the next important resistance, which is going to be all the way up here between 20 to about $21.5. In other words, get a break of this thing, which I think we might get it soon. The next target is going to be about, I would say, 35 to even 40% higher. Now, the question is, in terms of Elliott waves, can we justify such a strong and sharp move on the upside? The answer, if you are a regular viewer, you know it, is absolutely yes. You see, let's just go on maybe H4 time frame and also go around this area. If you are a new viewer, which I do know about 85% of you are, because these days every single time that I make new videos I get a bunch of new viewers and subs, you need to know that in a lot of my analysis I use Elliott waves. And if you want to argue that in terms of Elliott waves we're gonna have our final bottom around here, let's say this is like a very important support, then okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low a 5 wave on the upside. This specific example is a normal 5 wave. The rules for it are, we shouldn't have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of impulsive structure, wave 3 right in here should not be the smallest wave. And in terms of the sub waves, we must have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3, and 5. There we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different possibilities, doesn't really matter. Let's say, yeah, an A, B, C, D, E, a triangle into 4, and maybe, sure, a WXY structure into wave 2. Understood? Okay, because we are now going to go on the live chart and see why am I so bullish in ICP. Let's zoom out a bit more. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. This point right in here, around $2.5 is the lowest low. And what do we have off of it? A very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up to about this point, around $17. And as you can see, we do have all the subways for it, and followed by that, I believe that from here to around the lowest low in this area, about $6, we are having a correction down, and it's probably going to be, I would say, a WXY in form of a flat and a zigzag. And on a higher degree, this can actually be, and I think it is, an extremely bullish setup, because we can say, look, chances are from the lowest low in ICP, we're having 5 wave up into a wave 1, correction for wave 2, and at the moment we are on our way to complete the sub waves for, I believe, a huge wave 3, and then we're going to get correction for another move up into wave 5. And the important for you to understand is this: usually wave 3 right in here is actually quite a strong move. So since we are on our way to complete the subways for it, makes perfect sense for us to say in ICP, our move up soon, probably I would say in the next couple of weeks, is going to accelerate quite a bit, and we are going to see something special in here, because we are just at the beginning of this thing. You see, let's go on H4 time frame. There we go. What do we have in here? I am now quite comfortable to say from the lowest low, we are having 5 wave up into a wave 1, correction structure, probably a WXY into wave 2, and this thing right in here is going to be actually a very solid extension into wave 3 and 4 and 5. So in terms of Elliott waves, as you can see, we can definitely justify having such a strong move on the upside in ICP soon, in order to at least reach to somewhere around this area. And I don't think that we are even going to stay under this region for so long. No, by the first time that we touch it, okay, makes perfect sense for us to get some sort of a reaction from it and consolidate under in here. But after it, I'm expecting a big break in order to see some serious fireworks in internet computer. And I told you before, there's a good chance that in here we may actually have a series of 1-2s, which means soon we're going to be on our way up to complete a series of wave 3s, which is equal to some sharp moves on the upside. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's video. In ICP, you can say in terms of classic patterns, we are having actually a bullish triangle, and let's go back on 30-minute chart, and you can argue that these are the lines for it. There we go, and this is going to be the low line. Now, I do think that this can be in play, but it's not the only reason for why I am so optimistic. No, I think we can have much better reasons. And for example, if we get a move on the downside, does this mean that this triangle is actually broken and we cannot go up? No, that's not true. I believe at that point, this is just going to be probably, I would say, starting from this high, a very classic A, B, C in form of an expanded flat. And then after this small move down, we are going to start another move up in order to hopefully, by the first step, get a solid break of this region. And then I would say at that point, we are going to have about a 35 to even 40% relatively sharp move on the upside in order to, you know what, reach to somewhere around the next important region, which is going to be right in here between 20 to about $21.5. So for now, I'm thinking ICP seems absolutely bullish and we just do not have anything to be worried about. And soon we are going to get a break of this area. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Internet Computer's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.